My name is Renee. We're so glad you joined us here today. Our theme for 2023 is Living Out Loud. This month, our focus is cultivating authenticity. The title of our talk today is Dropping the Masks and Bushel Baskets, given by our wonderful spiritual director, Charlene Banks. We are so glad that you joined us today. Please feel free to add to the chat or in the comments any prayer requests or celebrations that you would like to have included later in the service when we provide our community spiritual mind treatment, which is a form of affirmative prayer. We invite you to get comfortable and relax into this moment as we will officially begin our service with this video.
Please join us as we create our sacred space. We set our intentions of deepening into our awareness and practice of our 5 pillars of spiritual living by lighting this candle in our virtual world. Our first pillar is sacred study, represented by the divine quality of truth. We use this pillar to recognize the importance of an open mind and the power of our minds. The second pillar is affirmative prayer, represented by the divine quality power. This pillar honors the power of prayer in our daily lives. Our third pillar is meditation and the divine quality of peace. This pillar reminds us of the importance of meditation and the peace we feel when we quiet our minds. The fourth pillar is circulation and the divine quality of life. We know that the great law of circulation works in our lives. As we give, so shall we receive. And the fifth pillar is sacred service and the divine quality of love. This pillar affirms our call to be of service to our world as we see through the eyes of love. Let us close our eyes as we bless this sacred space and our time together. As we weave each of these pillars of spiritual living into our service today, may they deepen our own spiritual practices of study, prayer, meditation, circulation, and service, expanding our minds and our hearts to the 5 divine qualities of truth, power, peace, life, and love. We also bless everyone who made our service possible today and everyone in attendance. May the energy of love that is generated here bless everyone abundantly, and so it is.
Now, here's our lovely Charlene with today's meditation.
Thank you, Renee B. So wonderful to have you welcoming all of us here. So, good morning and welcome to the time change. How many of you looked up and said, what? Is it already that time? I did. So we will go into our meditation, if only to just ground ourselves into the present moment. As you know, I tend to be, my goal is to be a bit more quiet and allow you to have a lot of internal time during this. So let's go ahead and take a nice deep grounding breath. Breathing in and just exhaling. Allowing any worry of the day to just fall away. Continuing our deep grounding breath. Allowing our breath to just move deeply into the center of our diaphragm. Slowly slowly expanding and releasing. But there's only one here, one divine presence. We are one with that presence. It is love. It is peace. Now, in the next minute or two of silence, focus on one aspect of the divine that you would like to bring more present into your life. Is it love? It's equanimity? Is it beauty? Allowing. Letting it be. This quality, anchor it deeper into the very fiber of your being. Allow it. This quality of spirit that you have focused your mind's eye on. Let it radiate around you. You are beauty. You are love. You are equanimity, whatever it is you chose as your aspect of the divine. Allow it to radiate, pulsate 3 feet, 4 feet around your very body. Right? Let it go wider around the entire house within which you sit. Allow it to radiate even further into the city in which you are. This orb This beautiful energy of the divine now expands through your entire state, your entire country where you are right now. And yes, around this beautiful blue globe that we call home. The truth is, we are one with this divine presence. Each and every one of the attributes of the divine are present right here, right now, through us, as us, and we emanate our energy intentionally to make this world a better place. And I know that every single one of us shall and will return to this space throughout the day, whenever our mind wanders back to this very moment. We activate that quality and we uplift the world. But for now, I'd like us to bring our attention back into the room, back into our bodies, wiggling our fingers and toes, if that's helpful. And just allowing it to be. So we welcome Leah to sing one of her amazing songs. Let me stop sharing. Leah, hey.
Good morning, everyone. I actually would love to share a song by Ricky Byers. And it's a song I suspect everyone in each of our rectangles has heard before. The way Ricky sings it, let's sing it that way a few times. And then some of Char's words inspired me to want to play with Ricky's inspiration. So she sings it. We let the light wash over us. We let it be. We let the light wash over us. We let it be. We let the joy flow forth through us. We let it be. You sing it with me, the joy. We let the joy flow forth through us. We let it be. What's love? We let the love go forth through us. We let it be. We let all of the love flow forth through us. We let it be. Let's sing peace. We let the peace flow forth through us. We let it be. One more time, let's sing light. We let the light flow forth through us. We let it be.
Thank you. That was amazing. I was over here singing, so I had to turn off my mic. Amazing. Thank you so much. I love what you did with that, Leah. Whew. Yeah, so service is done. We'll talk about pearls. No? Okay, fine. This week, well, this month we're talking about cultivating authenticity. And last week we talked about how we have this inner beautiful self that is perfect, whole, and complete. And then something happens that causes us to believe that that's not true, and that it would be better to suppress parts of ourselves and show this other thing, which seems to get better feedback, more likes. And eventually we become somebody we don't recognize. Oh, and that doesn't go well. No, it doesn't go well. Because with that kind of dissonance, who we really are versus who we pretend to be, there's a couple things that happen. One, we never really feel loved, even if people do love us, because we know we're not being authentic. We'll tell ourselves, this is the part that goes on in our heads, well, they say they love me, but they don't really know me. Because we know we're not being authentic, it's hard to accept the love that's coming in, because we think that if people only knew who we really were, then they wouldn't love us. So that's one way to keep love away. And then when love is kept away, we feel lonely. We create habits or addictions that will fulfill that space that only love, only God, shall I say the word, only God can fill. And that's a tricky place to be. So this week's discussion is dropping the masks and the bushel baskets. All right, it's weird, bushel baskets. Here's the deal. You know how Leah sang, we let the light shine forth through us. We let it be. Not only does it wash over us, it is us. So we shine it forth through us. Now, what would it be like if you tried to shine a light through 3 layers of blankets? I mean, we've all done that, right? Your parents say, time for bed, lights out. You go, okay. So you get under the covers, you turn on your flashlight, and you read just me? All right. Well, it's hard to see a light if it's being hidden with layers and layers of blankets. And so that's what we're talking about when we talk about bushels. Jesus famously said, do not hide your light under a bushel. And a bushel is a basket. I don't like either one of those terms, because to me, I'm like, why am I putting a light in a basket? But a light under a blanket, oh, that works, because I've done that. So hiding your light, Jesus said, why would you hide your light under a bushel? Instead, you would light a candle, leave it out in the room so that it can be admired and enjoyed, and it can illumine everything that comes within its area. So this is what I'm talking about right now. It's let's drop the bushel, drop the blanket, get rid of that blanket, shine your light. But what about dropping the mask? I know a lot of us are like, is COVID over? Can we drop the mask? There's that mask, which is meant to protect us from breathing in the particles that are supposedly, definitely got us sick. Look, I breathed in the particles even though I had masks on, but it happens. At least I had the mask on and I got the shot and all that stuff. But the thing is, you want to protect yourself, so you put on a mask. That's one type of mask. Can you think of another type of mask? Right. Think about this. When it comes to drama, in fact, the icon, the universal icon or GIF or picture that represents drama are the 2 masks. You know the ones? There's the happy mask and sad mask, and they're together. That means there's drama going on here, because in plays and in acting, we put on masks. And that's good because we're playing roles. I'm in a role, I'm going to put on a mask. Now, some of these plays and roles don't require physical masks, like if you were at a masquerade party or a masquerade ball. Some of us have masks on because we wear different hats. We work as a nurse or we work as a receptionist. There are ways in which we're supposed to behave to be compatible with our job. I get it. But I'm talking about when we show up in life, after you play your role at work, after you let's say you're training a puppy. You have to be consistent with your behavior because somebody's trying to learn from you. After you drop all that, when you get alone with yourself or with your friends, do you still have your mask on? Are you still playing a role? Because if you wear a mask over your heart this way, then people can't get in. And before you say that's good, if they can't get in, then they can't hurt me. Well, they can't love you either. So becoming free and authentic involves first knowing ourselves and loving ourselves. It always starts with the self. I know, I wish I had another moral of the story. There isn't one. Everything starts with us. It's all right here. And so if I feel that I need to pretend, even with the people who are closest to me, then I'm robbing myself and I'm robbing them of true connection. So dropping the mask has to do with dropping that image, that persona. Now, I'm not saying that you never need one. I was chatting with Renee B, who opened up our service today. We were chatting about putting a candle under a bushel and why would you do that? And she said something really good. She goes, well, I could see if you need to do that to start the candle, to get it going, to keep it from all the wind. And I thought, okay, that's perfect, because isn't it true that when we are a little bit worried about who we really are, we kind of fake it till we make it? You've heard the term, fake it till you make it. And that actually works a little bit to get it started, to get your confidence going. There is a TED Talk. I forget the woman's name because it just came to me as an example in this moment, but you can look it up. You could do a superhero pose. They say hold that pose for a minute or two before you have to go in a room and project confidence. And the superhero pose, which takes your body erect, put your hands and fists on your waist, and stand tall with your nose a little bit up. Imagine that the cape is blowing in a breeze, and stand like that. And that creates a certain bodily reaction. Certain chemicals are released in your body that physically say to others in the room, I am in charge. They sense it, they smell it. I don't know if they're pheromones. You have to Google it. Look up the TED Talk that has to do with the superhero pose and projecting confidence. It totally works. Now, that's an example of, all right, listen, I know it's kind of windy around here. Let's get under a bushel. Let's get under a basket and light this candle. If we could get it going so it's strong, then we can bring it out and it can stand on its own. That makes sense to me. And one of these moves is the superhero pose. But please don't get caught using that as a crutch for the rest of our lives. We cannot fake it forever. We cannot just kind of zhuzh up some temporary, momentary confidence forever. Some place beneath that is the source, is the foundation for our light. And we must connect with that in order to have that everlasting glow, everlasting sense of authenticity. And it's not about becoming something else. It's about becoming yourself. And now we're back to know thyself. I told you that this quarter I'm taking philosophy class, and Socrates was in his the apology kind of talk, the whole thing where he's giving a talk to people. Now, the scenario is that he's on trial. He's been accused of teaching the young people things that they don't need to know. He's been accused of, moving people from studying and worshiping the gods to some other sort of indwelling awareness of who they are. And he's like, first of all, no one paid me. They asked me, and I'm just here. I just discuss. I ask questions. And then they said, you think you're smart. You think you're the wisest man. And he said, actually, I don't think I'm the wisest person. It's my ignorance that causes me to have wisdom. And they said, what? And so it's when he goes on to say, when a person doesn't know who they are, they don't know their limitations, and they may begin to think that they know more than what they know. And when I ask them questions, exposing that they know nothing, they get mad at me. He's like, is that my fault? They don't know anything. I just asked them questions, exposed they didn't know anything. And he goes, it'd be one thing if you knew that you knew nothing. It's another thing if you don't know yourself, therefore you get all caught up and then you blame other people. Now I'm reading this, Plato's apology, or the apology. Plato's apology was about Socrates. Okay, anyway, I'm reading this and I'm like, oh, that's probably the issue. A lot of times when I think I already know, I'm not open to the fact that I could be dead wrong. And then I end up, tug of war with people. It tends to be a sort of a struggle. Because I don't know what I don't know, I assume that someone's coming at me from some other direction, and then I bristle up and I fight. And I'm sure a lot of us do. How many of us would fix that issue if we were curious? And we talked about curiosity last month. If we became curious every time there was a conflict, that would keep us from opposing, just becoming a polar opposite, and that's where the tug of war starts. What if we just became, oh, tell me more? Because then we're open to, maybe I don't know everything, a concept. And then I will find strength and wisdom in the fact that I don't know. It all starts with knowing ourselves, the authentic part of ourselves. We can create something that is truly us. And when something's not us, we can just let it go. We can say no. We can say, yeah, I hear that. I know what you want from me, but that's not a yes. That's a no. And I don't have to explain why. No is a full sentence, a complete sentence, because I know myself. I can then become authentic, and I can start to not be a people pleaser. I can start to say no gently and nicely so I don't hurt people's feelings, but it's still a no, and honor myself. None of this can happen if I don't know who I am. So it's really key. Brene Brown says authenticity is the daily practice of letting go of who we think we're supposed to be and embracing who we are. That's in her book, The Gifts of Imperfection, Brene Brown. So we're not trying to become something that other people think we should be. We get ourselves involved every day in releasing any patterns of thoughts and attitudes that don't reflect our true self. And we develop this courage to be vulnerable. We break through to the core, that beautiful core inside of us. Last week, I got all caught up and I didn't get to tell you this story about, there is a statue, a Buddha statue in Thailand. And it is a huge, I'm thinking 3 or 4, it's tall, huge statue of Buddha, pure gold, solid gold all the way through. Now, there was a time when Thailand was under conflict, and the people in charge at the time, the Buddhists, decided that this golden statue would be raided, pillaged. People would steal it. They're under siege, or they're about to be under siege. So they had a brilliant idea. Let's cover it with concrete and shiny pieces of glass. So it was still beautiful, this beautiful statue, tall, sitting up. It's one of those with it's not the chubby Buddha, it's the thin Buddha with the tall, like pointed head, and he's sitting. He's got his legs crossed and he's got a mudra. He's holding his hand, completely covered with concrete now, with beautiful glass shards. So it's just as pretty. And they left it alone. When the country was invaded, they left the statue was left alone. And then years and years and years, centuries went by. And this beautiful concrete statue, I mean, it's great. I imagine that everybody forgot what was inside of it because those who knew had died off. So then when the leader, emperor, king, whatever it is of Thailand said, let's move it. So they hook up a rope and they go to pull it. It is solid. It's not moving. And they're like, oh my gosh, this concrete, what is going on? They pull it harder. Nothing happens. But then a piece falls off and another piece. And someone goes, oh, and they start chipping away. And what they expose is this beautiful golden inside of this statue that they thought was one thing. It turns out there's this gift inside. And the reason I thought about it to share with you last week was that inside each and every one of us, yes, there's that core. There's that valuable, wonderful core that has been covered with experience and shoulds and well, I'm too this, I'm too that, I'm too young to do that, I'm too old to do that. Let me just cover up who I really am, make it externally acceptable, don't want to shine too bright, don't want to be too fabulous. So we hide. And then the statue is just a beautiful analogy of that within each and every one of us, there is that beauty, there is that light that we can shine. And we have to get comfortable with it to do so. This is going to include the necessity to be vulnerable. Being authentic is also being vulnerable. I know, think about that for a second. Vulnerability means sharing things that are a little bit, that thing that you're not telling anybody, because if you told people that they wouldn't love you anymore, that vulnerable part of you that you're keeping hidden under the bushel, under the concrete, under the basket, what are you keeping it under there? It's okay to let it shine. It's okay to let it out, because your friends, your family, whoever is close to you is not going to stop loving you because you showed this vulnerability. In fact, it tends to give other people permission to also be vulnerable. Have you ever had that where you're like, I don't want to share this. I don't want to share this because then, and then you do, and you may cry a little bit. And then someone goes, oh, thank you so much. I feel so much closer to you now that you shared that. And you're like, what? And then they feel comfortable enough to share something. And now everybody, okay, sure, everybody might be snotting up a little bit, but you're so much closer and you just feel so loved. And when you walk away, you feel like, oh, they see me. They may really, really love me. That is the secret right there. And we don't have to wear masks all the time now. It's not a bad thing to wear them if you feel unsafe. Animals do this all the time. Animals wear masks. Have you seen a chameleon? They'll blend right into their background. If they feel a sense of danger, they'll just freeze. And then the color of their body becomes the color of the rock. And they're like, keep moving. Nothing to see here. Yeah. I love that. But that doesn't mean that forever they're always blending into the background. We have an instinct to hide, sure. I'm not saying drop that. I'm not saying go out there in all your glory and get in front of the worst, diametrically opposite person from you and just share it all. That would be nuts. But just feeling safe and feeling the ability to open up a little bit will start to, if you're feeling like you're in a world where you're a stranger, a fish out of water, you'll start to feel a little bit better. So these parts of us that we're hiding, they really deserve to shine, and we won't know it until we get that feedback. And when we get the feedback, it'll be little golden nuggets. I talk about these all the time. It's so true. They'll tell you, yeah, you're on the right track. Somebody will come and say, I'm so glad you shared that. You'll take a class. We have some classes coming up. We'll take a class and you'll get to know each other at a deeper level. And you'll say, oh, I'm so glad I know that about you. I'm so grateful that you shared that. And then because I too have XYZ. And our light is meant to be shown, not hidden. And imagine you're born with a lot of gifts and you never show them. You never cultivate them. You never bring them out. Then you die. That's just a lot of potential that never got expressed. So if we keep living behind a mask, we run the risk of dying frustrated. Now, someone said the other day that we shouldn't strive, and I agree. We should not strive to be better than other people. We should not strive even to be better than ourselves if that striving is born of not good enoughness. If, for example, as I move through my little weight training, you guys know me by now, I get on these little 8-week to do this, and then there's a 12-week this, build this muscle, shed the fat, build the next muscle. I'm loving how the body just responds to the load that we put on it. It's amazing. It's amazing. You have a muscle and the muscle is X big and you make it lift some stuff. And then the muscle says, ouch, I better grow bigger. So next time she does it, it won't be so hard. I feel like that's true for every area in our lives. If you're a little scared of something, let's flex that muscle. Let's put a little bit of a load, not too much of a load. We don't want you to strain yourself and then you can't get in the game. But if you're a little bit afraid of public speaking, let's say, challenge yourself to do a little bit of a talk. Just record it or do it in front of 2 people. Do it in front of the dog and the dolls. I don't know. And then slowly you will become comfortable with that load. And then you'll have to increase the load. When you're doing it to build up to something that you really want, something where spirit has put a desire in you to do something and to be excellent at something, then we get to work on that. And it's exciting. It's a reason to wake up and go forth in our day and make a difference. That's great. The urge to create, the urge to build, the urge to do something that makes the world a better place, I would never take that away from you. But if you're doing it because out of fear, oh no, someone else is better than me, I better get better. Or I'm not good enough until I do the next 10. I'm not. If I yelled at myself every time, then I'm sure that I wouldn't want to do that thing anymore. But to be able to build up a muscle and like add more weight. Oh, and I'm proud. Look, I can lift that much now. Let's try a little more. It's out of curiosity and the urge to see what this body can do, which is exciting. And then I know that healthfully over the years, having muscle versus, it'll help older people do better when there's muscular, attached to the bones. Bones are stronger. So I have some personal reasons, but also aesthetic reasons. And also it's a challenge. So that's exciting. But if I do it in a way that I yell at myself or I say, I'm not good enough, I have to keep striving and I can't rest, then I have to think about, what am I doing? Am I serving a mask or am I serving my true self? So I would recommend every time that we're working hard to get to a goal, ensure that goal is your goal. And it's for your inner urge to be all that you are. And it's not informed by advertising or the shoulds or somebody else's yardstick. Here's how you know if you're serving your highest inner urge that's divinely given, that's your light, or whether you're chasing after something that someone else put in you. The way you know, for me anyway, I'm just giving you from me, it's the dissonance, the distance. Do I feel that I'm becoming closer to who I want to be? Or do I feel like I'm becoming further away? And again, we're back to know thyself. How do I know what I really want to be? You might ask. How do I know if what I want was planted in me by some third party who decided for me? We talked about it in our workshop, the Noble Purpose workshop. We asked ourselves questions. We listed a bunch of different things about our childhood before we were laying on the external layers of the concrete on top of that beautiful golden self. We went back and back and back, and we figured out what it is that the core of me really enjoys. And then we're going back to that. And that's the difference. You know whether or not you're serving something that has been planted in you after the fact, or whether you're getting back to your true nature, because you can see the trajectory of your growth. So let me know if you need to see that video. We are sharing that, the video of the recording so that you can do this inner work. I want each and every one of us to be able to shine brightly what the divine has placed in us. We're here to do something, and we're not like anybody else. The combination you have is not like anyone else's combination. And if we can simply clarify who it is and what we're here to do, who it is we came to be and what it is we came to do, we can then set those boundaries and say yes to only the yes that comes through us. We can say no with confidence, and then we can use our light and narrow that light. And think about it. If we focus our light, we can have the energy of a laser beam that can cut through anything and make itself present. This is our energy. This is our power. This is what we're here to do today, and we don't have to wait. So your homework is to listen, to sit down and just listen. And if you find yourself holding back in an effort to not be vulnerable, your homework then is to take a baby step and to build that muscle, to build that endurance, to build the ability to just be yourself unapologetically, because that's what we're here to do. All right, time is up already. All right, let's go within. Let me check to see if there are any requests for prayer. Let's go within and just know that we are always right here at the right place. Spirit has led us to this point in our lives where we are aware of our oneness. There's no separation. We are right where we're meant to be. Every divine urge, every divine inspired thought makes itself known to us. Every action that is ours to do glows with the golden orb of joy. It grabs our attention and allows us to focus on it. And we say yes to each and every urge that is divinely given. I speak my word for each and every one of us that if there's any sense of reluctance of showing who we really are, that energy dissipates, because it is not based in truth. The truth is we are the light that lighteth up the world. Every man, woman, and child that comes into our presence feels that light, warms their soul, and they are encouraged to also show their light. For a candle's light is not diminished when it is used to light another candle. It's fascinating. A single lit candle can light all the other candles in the room without losing anything. And so I speak my word that we are that light. We shine ever so brightly. We attract those that need what we have to give. We attract perfect conditions, perfect situations. Everything we need, we are attracting it right now. It is drawn to us because that is the nature of the universe. It is reciprocal, and every question is answered before it is asked. Every need is fulfilled before it is recognized. What we seek is also seeking us. So I speak my word that we open to possibilities and we open to the true nature of ourselves, that we drop any idea of that which we aren't, and we allow only the truth, only the golden internal core of our being to shine. I love this community. I love to watch it unfold. I am in such gratitude for this unfoldment. And I'm excited to hear all the wonderful ways in which life is being life as us. I release my word into the law, knowing that the law always says yes. And so I say thank you, and I let it be. And so it is. Ashe. And Leah.
Amen. I can't wait till the nuggets, because I got nuggets.
Yeah.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Shine, 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 shine. Living and loving the life that's mine. Shine, shine, shine. Shine, shine, shine. Shine, shine, shine. Living and loving the life that's mine. Shine, shine, shine. Shine, shine, shine. Shine, shine, shine. Living and loving the life that's mine. Shine, shine, shine. Shine, 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 shine. Shine, shine, shine. Living and loving the life that's mine. Shine, shine, shine. Shine, 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 shine. Shine, shine, shine. Living and loving life. Shine, shine, shine. Shine, shine, shine. Little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine. I'm gonna let it shine.
Lovely. Now it is the time to bless the donations that are shared today. At CSL Leesburg, we believe in the law of circulation. So we are a tithing community. The donations shared with our center bless everyone, those who give and those who receive. Your donation helps our center, our CSL home organization, as well as organizations that support our vision of helping to create a world that works for everyone. So please look at the screen. There are many ways to give. It's easy to find a way that works best for you. You may also go to our website, cslleesburg.org, and click the donate button. We thank you for your support, no matter how you are giving. Take that gift, physically or mentally, place it over your heart, and join us in our affirmation of oneness. The presence of spirit within me blesses everyone I meet, tends to heal everything I touch, brings gladness into the life of everyone I contact. Therefore, I am a blessing to myself, to humankind, and to the day in which I live. So, announcements. We have our dream study every Tuesday at 9 a.m. Charlene leads that as well. It's great. You have a dream. It's good to jot it down so that you don't forget it, because it's weird how that works, how time goes on and you kind of just forget all of the details. So if you're wondering what it might have meant, bring it to the dream study and talk with the group. We have some really good people in there. They've helped me with a few of my dreams. And that's, oh, there's one other thing I just wanted to remind you guys about, is our upcoming party next week. I think it's next week, Saturday. It's not on the thing, I'm ad-libbing, but I just wanted to remind you. All right, now for the closing affirmations. You can unmute if you'd like to join me in saying this out loud. I am love. Yes, you are.
I am
Yes, and you are love.
love. You are love.
Yeah. And we do the love sprinkles. It's all
love.
love. Yay. Join us after. We can share our nuggets. If you're on Facebook or wherever, you can click the Zoom link on the website and we will chit chat for a bit. Bye.
Good job. Woohoo.
Ah.